Hello everyone, how are you feeling today? It's everyone here, and today I'm coming at you once again with a Vendread deck profile. This time, the 60 card variant. You guys seem to want this so much, so I thought out of my way, I will do a video, maybe even do another one at the end of the week, but I will do this immediately because you guys seem to want to have this video. Now, of course, if you want to see test hand of my Vendread deck, I want you guys to help me reach 20 likes on this video, because we seem like we hit it almost double the numbers of likes from last time I checked on the previous video. So let's raise it up to 20, shall we? This video not this video. This deck is really fun. You know me, I don't really like 60 card decks most of the time, but this is one of those exceptions actually. I'm actually enjoying this build quite a bit of 60 card decks because I can add some cards that I normally will not add and raise consistency. Of course, you can always use this list as a guide, and if you think like there are some cards that should be changed, let me know in the comments down below because I'll be more than happy to change few stuff in order to improve the deck consistency. Another thing is like, as you know me, I don't really like to show side. I feel like side is something that you should think of. But I do run here super poly just in advance to stay, just like people suggested me in the 40. Just in the 40, I don't really find a spot. And this, I did find two spots to put two super polys. But I do not run the Drago Necro, I believe the name of the fusion for zombies. I don't run that in the main extra deck. I do run it in the side though. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So to start things off, the ritual monsters are still the same number. One Executor, two Battlelord, and two Slayers. This lineup still proves to be quite nice. You have a lot more ways to search, which we'll get to them because I bumped up some cards up. And your ways of seeing these cards are actually not that hard. Like, it doesn't feel to me bad to just run two of this, even though, like, you know, I want to run more in a way, but I kind of also don't. There is a particular engine that I also wanted to try, but I'm kind of like, no, it's going to work, but also kind of like you know, counter your strategy in a way. And that's a really mini incantation engine. But I kind of like didn't really play test with it yet, so I don't run the Chalice Slime and the mini incantation engine. Because it's kind of works, but I still need to play test with it before I will let you guys know how that's stand out. Even though, like, you're thinking, oh, it's going to block your extra deck. Trust me, like, if you're playing particular combos, it's not going to do that. But, like, I still need a little bit of a play test with that. And then lastly, I don't remember the name of the one in the comments that told me that. I kind of, like, forgot to write that down for myself in my notes. There was one of you guys that essentially let me know, and I will let you guys know also that ruling, that Nibiru can be stopped if you use Battlelord before they have a chance to summon him, because you essentially banish one of your Vendread monsters, and then you essentially stop the summon because the monster is getting banished, and you stop monster effect. And Nibiru is a monster effect, so that's actually really nice. Thank you for that, by the way. So that's it for the ritual monsters. Now we'll move on to the Pringles Vendreads, and that is one of each of these. Again, I don't run Revenant, even though I felt like at the start, like, maybe I will, but, like, no, Revenant is still pretty terrible. These are just really good, one of each of them, and they do what they need to do. The worst one is probably Anima, but, like, Anima still does better work than Revenant, so yeah, I still run that guy. Zombie World Engine. Again, stayed exactly the same. I feel like running multiple of these guys are essentially a brick. The only one I want to run multiples is essentially Necrovolt Banshee, which I run in the side multiples of her, like additional 2 copies if I really need to. I do like, you know, run in the side a little bit more of these, but like Bell Roach is just so easy to get to the grave. You can even search it or dump it to the graveyard with what her name again? Beatrice, and you also have this guy, if you remember, if you're able to summon this guy, and he can dump her, and then it's a quick effect, so you can immediately use that during your opponent's turn. You don't have to use it immediately, because technically you can't use that, but you know how that goes. These are just good at one of each. I might bump this up to 2 or even this up to 2, but for the time being, they're actually working quite nicely. And like, I don't really 100% need them. Like, the only one I need from these is this. This is just a nice addition. I feel like running multiple of these is a brick. But this one, I can see it really easily with Beatrice if I need it in my graveyard and then search zombie world. So, you know, it's not the end of the zombie world. Anyway, the additional engine is an engine that I want to run in my 40, but actually kind of didn't really have the spots. In this version I do have, and it actually also stops Dark Ruler no more, because I'm going to show it right now. This is the only trap I run, by the way. This is the engine, vampire engine, that I run. It actually works quite nicely, because this can be searched by 1-for-1. You can also dump it to the graveyards, even if you see it in your hand and you have Vampire Sucker. This girl right here, if you don't remember, you're already going to use her for Link Summoning for Link 2. So why are you just not going to use his effect to special summon himself, search this, special summon himself, but sending this, and then searching for this? And then you can also do some particular things if you have a Mizuki to then summon Vampire Sucker back, and then essentially also have Domination to deal with Dark Ruler no more and those kind of cards. Like, having some kind of like a counter trap that you might be able to use is actually very important, and I feel like having that card has actually helped me quite a bit, because it's also kind of putting a negate if you do have the worst hand sometimes. It's in a weird way that it actually works quite a bit. Then we'll move on to the rest of the zombie engine. 3 Solitaire, standard, I don't think I need to explain. Because it's 60, I bumped up to 3 the Uni-Zombie. I do run the still 3 Mizuki. And now again, because it's 60, I bumped up the Guzuki up to 2. So now I have the spot to it. Maybe not bump up is the right word. I think, like, you know, have the spot for it. And then our last monster that you mostly use for the combos is Shinobi Necro. Really good. That's a level 2. You have no idea how good that is. It's a level 2. We kind of lack those, and we need those. And because we are 16, we have the spot right now, and we do want to stop our opponent, because this deck could be more consistent, but also can't. It's in a weird way. I decided to put Ash Blossom because I also have the spots for it, and it's probably the best hand trap. I'm not sure if the best hand trap in the format, but the reason why I choose Ash Blossom, even though I like sometimes Effect Veiler or even Ghost Ogre, is because she's a zombie, and she has synergy in the deck, and she's the best hand trap zombie. So yeah, I decided to put her. That's it for the monsters. Now we'll move on to the spells. First off, 3 copies of Origin. I don't think I need to explain that. 2 copies of Evolution, though. This card is a card that I bumped up to 2, or should I say play in 2 in the 60 variant. The reason why I'm playing this at 2, even though in the 40 I'm playing 1, is because it's harder to see the ritual spell more than you need, more than you think. And also, like, your chances of opening up 2 of these, unlike the 40 card version, is very low. And also, like, you don't really mind open up this one in the 60 variant, because then you can dump a particular other ritual monster and then, like, you know, set up your place. It's not that bad in the 60. In 40, it's kind of bad to run more than 1. Then 3 copies of Pre-Prep, pretty standard. Then I bump up to 3 Prep, or should I say I play it in 3. Prep, you play 3 of it because you can, and it's another really easy consistency card. Then I actually play something new that a lot of people are going to raise an eyebrow, but it actually works quite a bit. I do play 2 Vendread Knights. In 40 card variant, I would not recommend this, because you do have charge, which is better, but this one can also be nice, just going to say that. Having the ability to search for a Vendread monster and dump something into the graveyard is actually really powerful, more than you think. Like, trust me, like, having the ability to do that is actually really good. Having the ability to attack multiple times is also kind of nice, but, like, you sometimes, like, open up with, for example, let's just say, the ritual spell and not the ritual monster, and you don't really see these things. Like, you know, it's just really nice. I am considering maybe putting it to 1 in my 40 variant, but I'm not sure how good it is. But for the 60 variant, it's actually really good at 2. The other field spell, Zombie World, and we also run the 1 Terraforming to search both of the field spells. Sometimes you need those. So you're essentially playing 3 Zombie World, overall, and 3 what are called Vendread Knights. Then I still playing the 2 Vendread Charge standard in a normal build. I am considering bumping it up to 3, but I wanted to have place for hand traps and, ways to deal going second. 3 on Lower Darkness. This deck has a lot of dark monsters, I believe. We have something like around 16 dark monsters, if I counted that correctly. Something around like 16, 17 monsters. You can open up with multiples. You sometimes need to banish cards to see better options. Allure of Darkness just been the best option. I wanted to run Desires, but like Desires also kind of conflict with the deck in a way that like, unlike a normal deck that is combo, you have the chance, because you have so much vital important cards, you have the chance of banishing them. Like, as much as it sounds weird, it's like, you could find yourself banishing your Executor, and Executor is one of your end combo cards. Or you can find yourself banishing 2 copies of your Vendread Origin. Like, there are so many little cards that you could just banish, and it's just not really that good to do that. And also, a Pot of Extravagance is just not good because we're using the Exarch. Now, of course, if you're going in like a full Ritual Vendread deck, there is a version of that also use Necros and Incantation, which I'm not sure it's that great. But if you go that route, run that. But for me, Allure Darkness proved to be quite useful. Anyway, 3 Called by the Grave, we don't want to be hand-trapped. So, I run that as well. Then, the card that everybody told me to run, just like I said, I want you guys to understand, in the 40 card variant, I kind of didn't find the spot, but in the 60, I actually use this card also as a set card to give you, to give a kind of like an additional disruption, because you can have Zombie World activate, and then you can just take 2 of their monsters and use them to summon the Necro Zombie, or if they have 2 Darks, you can also summon Starving Venom. You know how that goes. 3 felt to me way too much, 2 is just a really nice number. Then, while Foolish Burial Goods and 1 Foolish Burial. Not Extra Foolish Burial this time, because I felt like Extra Foolish Burial is actually kind of bad, because you kind of find yourself sometimes that you want to set cards, specifically with the Vampire Engine, and that's also counter the strategy. And sometimes I actually want to have, and believe it or not, the what it called? The Herald of Arclight, because actually I can summon it with Shinobi Necro and the level 2 Vendread Storages. So sometimes I need that, but Foolish Burial Goods is actually not that bad. I consider bumping it up to 2, and even playing it in the original version, because why is it good? Is because you can dump one of your ritual spells. Like, you can dump one of these 5, and it serves as either a search with the ability of, Preparation of Rites, so we can again retrieve the ritual spell and give you a ritual monster, or you can use that with a Vendread Savior, and a Vendread Savior can recycle for you a Vendread card. Doesn't really matter which. So you can get the ritual spell, and sometimes, of course, you're getting stuck with non-sync Preparation of Rites and stuff like that. So I felt like this card is actually a lot better than I think, and then Foolish Burial, it's just Foolish Burial. Another card I kind of wanted bumped up to 2 in the 60 card variant is Burial from Different Dimensions. Actually, really good of a card. 1 for 1, because you have 4 level 1s in the deck and it's another starter, and then 1 Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn. As well as the last card, like I said again, for anybody who maybe didn't kind of missed that in the video, I do run the 1 Vampire Domination, which is part of the Vampire Engine that I showed you earlier. And that's pretty much that. Extra deck didn't really change a whole lot. And once again, I kind of don't really have a Vendread Savior yet, so I'm still proxying out with the 2 Mistar Boys that everybody like here in the comments. So yeah, I'm still proxying with those, unfortunately, but yeah. Vampire Sucker, again, still very standard. Cerberus, Phoenix to deal with going second. And then I actually run an additional card that I felt like, yeah, I kind of wanted to cut down, what his name again? The Dragon Worm thingy, I forgot what his name, the Storm Dragon, the one that pop spell and trap during your player's turn. I don't know why my brain got blackout by his name, The 2100 wind that can just pop spells and trap during your player's turn. I don't know why I forgot the name. But I decided to run Proxy Dragon because it's actually proved to be a lot more useful. Because it's opened up 2 zones in the main monster zone. It sounds a little bit weird, but for some of your greedy combos that you were able to pull off, if you were able to either use like, Battle Lord effects and stuff like that, you need this guy because it's open up zones, and those 2 are not always enough, or you can't kind of getting yourself stuck if you use those. So this is a really, really important one. And then, of course, the Borreload, just because it's Borreload, and sometimes you do need the Link 4 to climb into. One Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. Still a really good card. You have level 6s in the main and extra, so it's really, really cool. Herald of Arclight, a lot more important than I thought it will be after playtesting. Shinobi Necroran Strategist, I like to make this guy a lot. Not only because it's search for you rituals and ritual spells, it's because like it's so easy to drop this negate with a 2-card combo, and then like also Vampire Sucker. It's just really, really easy to drop this as like, 1 Vampire Sucker, this negate, and then if you have 3 other extenders, cool. But like, it's so easy, so I felt to myself like, yeah, this is a really important card. Coral Dragon and Stardust Charge Warrior, those 2 guys are just your draw power. This one I use more because he used his draw immediately, and like you don't need to send him to the graveyard before that, and that's why when I'm making the Beatrice, I kind of like don't miss the draw effect. But like this is mostly used with him and Core to make FA Dawn Dragster. Just because FA Drawn Dragster is, again, is another negate, or this, if I need the search, essentially, and dump to the graveyard, and rather have this as my Synchro Tuner during my opponent's turn to summon one of these 2, which one, again, Omega and Savage Dragon, and this is pretty much does it for the extra deck. So yeah, that's pretty much does it. Not a whole lot have changed. From the 60-card variant 40-card variant, sorry, in terms of like, extra deck, except from one card, which I'm also going to apply to the 40-card variant that you want to run Proxy Dragon instead. And then like, you add additional more consistency cards, and you have more place for hand traps and super polys and stuff like that. So this is pretty much the list that I came up with. There are always room for improvements, but I would like to know what you guys think in the section down below to let me know how would you improve this version, because I think like this deck is really, really fun still in 40 and 60, and I'm actually enjoying the 60 a lot more than I thought I will. Anyway, like I said, if you reach 20 likes for this video, we're going to do a test hand or a combo video to show you guys how to get started with some very basic combos at the end of the week if I'll have the time. I'm going to actually announce it right now. I'm probably next week, Friday or whatever next week. I'm not going to be available because my sister is getting married. So I'm kind of like, there's like a big thing with like 7 days of celebration. It's a weird thing that like we have that is like 7 days that we need to be with them as well. Because they want to celebrate with us and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of like, we're going to probably not have a video next week. I will try to, but worst case scenario, we have 2 videos this week. So leave a like, subscribe if you want to support the channel, help me reach 1,000, and leave your comments in the section down below if you have ways to improve the deck. I'll see you guys next time, and remember, creativity is the key in this game. Have a good day, guys. Stay safe. And I see you guys in the next video. Until next time, bye-bye.